Well, hello and welcome. My name is Velma. You can connect with me at velmaknowles.com. This is all about your leadership chat. What does that mean? You get to listen in on valuable insights from valuable leaders just like you. I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe so that you never miss another episode. And if this is of value to you, please share the nuggets that you're going to take away from all these great leaders. Please give a big welcome to my special guest and your valuable leader, Sandy Ho. Sandy, welcome to your leadership chat.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh man, I am delighted that you are here, and I can't thank you enough for taking some time out to have coffee or tea with me and just have a leadership chat. To kick things off, I would love for you to share a little bit about you, who you are, and what you do. That would be great.
Absolutely. Well, hello to everyone. I have been at Great Bay Distributors for 33 years. So let's lead there. I know they hired me when I was 4. And this is my high school. Excuse me,
Mhm.
start again. This is my college internship.
Oh, wow. Get out of here.
So usually a differentiator
Yeah.
this is the job that I had as my college internship, which turned into a job offer. So I'm very proud that I became a vice president in 2004, and I am currently the VP of HR here at Great Bay Distributors. And Great Bay is the Anheuser-Busch InBev beer distributor, although we have a great portfolio, liquor, tea, water, wine, beer, for Pinellas, Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus counties here on the west coast of Florida.
Wow. Wow. I did not know that about you, that you interned and then you started off interning and your leadership grew, and now you're developed and you're leading the people side of the business. That is amazing.
It was an um, it was a place I landed
Mhm.
that I am meant to be in this space
Wow.
and would never have believed as a marketing intern,
Yeah.
someone who was in public relations, and my minor was in government affairs.
Yeah.
Um, but I am in the position I was meant to be all along. And going back to leadership and who's an influence, I can tell you that I have achieved the success that I have today from my very first boss.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that you have opened up the door to the big question. And I know there's going to be others, but like we want to always know who in your life is a valuable leader, that person that's made that tremendous impact that you say, I would not be the woman I am today without this leader. It could be more than one. So I'll give you a little bit of wiggle room, Sandy. So who is that person or people in your life?
Without a question and without even a heartbeat of thinking about it, it is Richard Bell. And I never referred to him as anything other than Mr. Bell.
Wow.
So let me tell you about Mr. Bell. So he was my very first boss when I was first into the company as a young college graduate,
Right.
and willing to do whatever, learn, get an assignment, show me, teach me. And I was happy to get into the marketing space and have some projects to manage. And I have to say that it is with wisdom that I recognized how very lucky, how very fortunate, and how very blessed I was that
Mhm.
my very first influence into following a boss, understanding what a leader looks like, and the difference between a boss and leadership, someone who tells you and someone who teaches you. I
Yeah.
had that very early on. And I knew one style. And so if I've been able to be anything like he was, to be able to be an influence in anybody else through my career or through my mentorship or through my organizations, it would make me incredibly proud. And he frustrated me in the beginning because he would give me an assignment. He
Mhm.
would ask me to do something and I would be like, that doesn't have anything to do with my job or my department.
Yeah.
Or he would say, hey, I'd like you to go to this meeting with me after work on Thursday. We're going to go to the Chamber of Commerce, or we're going to go to this event, or I want you to tag along with me. And I thought, well, this is the craziest. Why?
Right.
Well,
Right.
I realize now for sure he was exposing me. He was giving me a network. I didn't know what any of those things meant or would mean to my future. And when he would give me a project and I would think, I don't know how to do that. Well, I figured it out. And I think he then saw, oh, well, the kid figured it out. Or she got what she needed, or she asked the right people, or she got her resources, or she did some homework
Right.
and did some research. And that became, over time, I look back and think, well, over about a 5-year period, what he did for me gave
Mhm.
me self-confidence.
Yes.
And he was able to see that I could think on my feet. I could be given maybe a really challenging something, and she figured it out and did well with it.
Right.
And I think about his personality. He It seemed like I could always do it. It seemed to be through him
Mhm.
that it was like he never doubted me.
Yep. He believed in you.
Yes,
Yeah, he believed in
yes,
you before you believed in yourself. I
right,
mean, that's what great leaders do. They believe in others. They, give them the confidence. You borrowed belief from him because he said, I want you to do this. And you're like, okay, well, I have to figure this out, right? I mean, I'm the intern. And someone gave me something and made me responsible. But I love how you really spoke to the fact that he frustrated you too, because you're like, I don't understand some of this stuff. It has nothing to do with the piece of paper I got when I signed up.
right, right.
Right.
And the special day for me was when they were bringing me, they were gathering together to share that they were going to promote me to a vice president.
Wow.
Mr. Bell is the one who came down the hall to
Right.
my office and asked me to come see him, which was not unusual, but it was certainly a delightful surprise. I didn't know. And to the fact that he's the one who said, I'm going to have a meeting with you, come to my office, be
Yeah.
available about 10 o'clock. And he was able to understand my shock and awe and my speechlessness. And so the words that came because of why I was being promoted coming from him means the world to me.
Yeah, I could tell. And it just, you could just see how passionate you are when you speak about him. It's like you have truly been blessed to come out of, getting your education and then going into an environment with someone that cared enough to come alongside and believe in you and then invest in you and your abilities. So
Yes,
that's,
which then leads to a really hard time because
mm,
he passed away.
yeah.
And then I lost my mentor.
Mm,
I became untethered
mhm.
and I searched for other mentors. I got up the courage to ask someone and I got declined, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And so for several years, I really I was suffering. I had a hard time. I didn't know. I searched. I felt rejected for those
Yeah.
people for whatever was going on. I recognize now whatever was going on with them. Thank goodness they declined because I don't
Yeah.
want to be to ask someone to do something that they weren't ready or capable of.
Right.
So then I searched and I really did a lot of soul searching and I did a lot of meditation. And I thought, I'm going to open myself up to then what's next if I'm not meant to necessarily have another mentor. And I did come across Simon Sinek, and certainly he's wise in all ways. But one of the quotes that he had was, be the leader you wish you had.
Mm,
And that broke open for me.
mhm.
Maybe I don't need one if
Mm,
I can become one
mm.
for someone else.
Right.
And so then I got inspired, I got energized again, and I thought, well, I don't know who needs me and I don't know what they need me for,
Right.
but I'm going to open myself up to that. And within a year, I had people and I had official relationships, I had friendships, I had board associations, I had colleagues. And then my cup was filled up because I was helping someone else the very way that I was helped by Mr. Bell.
Yeah.
And then out of that, I grew and thought, I really do need constructive criticism. I need a sounding board. And so I was at a seminar, a conference, and the person said, create your personal board of directors.
Mm.
And I thought, oh, and it just, I could feel it resonating in my body. So then I reached out, and I have 6
Wow.
people that I've asked, would you be on my personal board of directors? And here's what that means to me. Can I come to you if I just need to vent?
Yeah.
And you'll be the listener. Could I come to you and ask you, this is what I'm concerned about, would you walk me through, or this is what I'm thinking about? And so that's where I am today. It's a group of people who support and advocate, give me feedback, and I'm really proud. It took a lot of work to get there,
Yeah.
but I hope it's also reciprocal.
Right. Yeah. No. And you really spoke to the fact that you went over and over and over again, persistently asking, could someone mentor you? And, you got the no's. And I hands down understand rejection is a tough thing, right? But you were persistent, and then you turned it around and said, well, then how can I help someone else? And in that creativity came, let me set up a board of directors that is there for me, multiple people with different talents at different times and space for different reasons. That's awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, I want to take you to this whole thing about your cup is full, you're helping others, you're giving into them. Tell me, what kind of impact would you say you're making to help other people see that they are valuable leaders? How are you doing that?
It, I, I, I believe my impact and my fit and the role that I play in my organization today came out of ashes.
Wow. Okay.
And I'll share this story that I became exhausted. I was working many hours. I was working weekends. I was spent. I couldn't, it was just my workload, and trying to keep up with everything became overwhelming. COVID,
Yeah.
losing a family member,
Mm.
having to take care of the family situation got reshuffled. And the first trip that opened up after COVID, and I went on, I had to travel for business. I can tell you, Velma, I was going through Tampa International Airport from airside to pick up my bags.
Right.
And there were Christmas wreaths, and there was a Christmas tree, and there were the Christmas music coming through. And I literally stopped, and I probably blocked 400 people trying to get off that tram. And I thought, how is it the holidays? I just had an experience of, isn't it still July? What is happening? And so I became exhausted. I wasn't functioning well. I reached out to that board of directors and just thought, I don't know what's happening to me. I've lost time and space. I'm really suffering. And so through their help, I got attached to some resources. I started to do some reading, and I came across the quote that it said, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And I hung that on my door in a very busy hallway at a facility where 400 people are at work every day. We don't have remote employees. And the vulnerability that day that I hung that on my door, and I thought, I need to share, I need to tell people where I am and that I need help, whether it's patience with me, whether it's to understand I'm doing the very best I can. And the floodgates of people who then were allowed to say, I'm not okay too.
Yep.
I lost my dog last year and I haven't even had time to grieve. My goodness, I lost this person to the COVID pandemic, or my husband has been laid off for 7 months and I haven't felt like I was able to express. And so the differentiator here for me right now is make space for people,
Yeah.
allow the vulnerability, and listen. Granted, then we can talk about resources and we can talk about all the things that we're all good at. Everybody who's listening right now, right? We have skills, we have a way we participate and contribute. But that is where I feel my gift is and my talent is to be able to create the space for whatever that looks like, for whatever that person needs at the time. And I'm really proud of that because the vulnerability to show was frightening, and
Mhm.
it just turned into a gift.
Yep. You've come full circle, you know, and I listened to your story and you talked about Mr. Bell at first and how, you know, he was just this person that was caring and encouraging and he was there and supporting you and believed in you. Well, you came full circle. You had to come to a place where you had to believe enough in yourself to say, you know what, it's okay to be okay, and that allowed other people to feel like you are so approachable. I mean, we all, you know, I think struggle. This morning on my quote, and I didn't plan on this, but my quote this morning that I haven't shared there was, stop thinking about what other people think about you and start thinking about what you think about yourself, because you have to have self-care. If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of, you know, 400 people, right? As the people, you know, officer in a company, or mother in a home, or, you know, wife or sister, or, you know, all those, a grandparent. And so what you just shared was, when you know, everybody has a story. And I think we all have stories, and sometimes we don't give a safe space for ourselves and our story. And then that, you know, when we don't do that, then other people don't feel like it's safe for them. And what you did was, you said, not only are you saying that it's okay not to be okay, you also said it's safe to say that, you know, it's a safe environment.
Yes. And to your question about leadership,
Hmm.
I I think of leadership from a much more basic definition of being a better friend,
Yeah.
being a better neighbor, being a better sibling,
Yes.
being a better committee member at church.
Hmm.
Leadership, I think, is so much more fundamental
It is.
sometimes
Yeah.
than we think about a person with a title or personal power or position power.
Yep.
I feel so strongly about that one of the things we did last year was, I've heard about some of your other guests talk about EQ, right? And how that emotional understanding and that emotional intelligence really is playing
Yes.
out in the workforce. That sometimes we talk about soft skills, right? The listening, the empathy. We don't use that phrase anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Here, those are power skills.
Yep.
There's nothing soft
Soft.
about being able to hold space for someone.
Right.
There's nothing soft about the art of listening,
Right.
and just knowing we can't just listen and it be piled on and be burdened
Hmm.
by, but once that person is in a place
Hmm.
that they've allowed to experience the emotion or tell their story,
Yes.
then we say, how can I support you?
Yeah. Wow. Oh,
Because I don't know, but I'm here to find out with you,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so that's a culture change here,
Oh, yes.
to introduce those, and it'll take us time, and it's a journey, and it's an evolution, and I'm really excited to be a part of putting that emphasis
Mhm.
into our performance appraisals, into our conversations.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, not just being a part of it, you are like the wood that went on the fire to spark this whole thing. with, just stepping up, taking that risk in yourself and stepping out, and speaking up for those that really don't feel or did not lean into their own voice. And I love that. And I love the fact that you have elevated emotional intelligence to that of power skills, because they are power skills. You become empowered when you accept the fact that, we can all learn to be a better listener, to be, an encourager, to recognize, our vulnerability. And thank you for doing that, because I know that's never easy when we all put our, kind of open up our heart and, put it out there. But thank you for doing that. People respect that. People, I think, are embracing it more and more. So very well. You answered that question. Okay. I don't know how you're going to answer this question because you gave us so many good takeaways. But my third question is around, we never know when someone is going to listen to this. We never know where they are in their season of life, what's going on, what story is being told or played out in their life. So for Sandy, what would be one big takeaway that you would say, Velma, if I could share anything with the listeners, here's something that I would share with them to help them become more of a valuable leader in their life, personally or professionally?
This quote: raise your hand and you're a fool for 5 minutes. Don't raise your hand and you're a fool for a lifetime.
Whoa. Drop the mic. Yes.
So what that meant is picking up on the vulnerability.
Mhm.
In a meeting when I didn't understand a line item in financials, I said, I don't know what these initials are, right? These 4 letters. Can somebody tell me? Whether it was at a conversation, a meeting in my staff, something I see on someone's application, I'm participating in one of my community of associations, right? A board.
Mhm.
I just thought, I'm just going to keep doing this because I don't want to be here in 3 years and still not understand what this phrase is. And I can tell you, the very first time in the biggest setting, I must have been with 40 people, business owners, entrepreneurs. I was reading minutes. I didn't understand something. I raised my hand. I asked the question. Someone said, okay, let me get the auditor. He's in the room. And the financial person stood up and he answered it. The gentleman to my left, who's been with this organization for 20 years, looked over and he said, I didn't know what that was either. And I thought,
How long have you?
because I assumed it was only me. I assumed everybody else absolutely had an understanding and a depth of knowledge. And I was like, oh, thank you. So I'm going to continue to be the one who raises her hand and just says, if I may, could you, sir, I heard you, but I didn't understand you. Can you take a moment? And sometimes it's, can I get with you after? Yes, please. Can I email you? Yes, please. Or they'll say, you could read this article, or I'm going to send you this blog. You should subscribe to. Perfect. Thank you. So I guess whatever that means to the folks listening,
Yeah.
whether that's in your personal relationships, in your next career move, in an association that you belong to.
Yeah. Raise your hand. I love that. That is beautiful. Raise your hand, because that's the way we grow. The more we ask questions, right? Dr. John Maxwell, a mentor of mine, always says that, good leaders ask great questions. And so you have to ask the questions so that you can learn, you can grow, and then you get filled up. And that's how then you are able to pour it out to others. Wow. Yeah, wow, you did so great. I can't thank you enough for this chat. I know that people are listening in and saying, well, how do I learn more about Sandy? How do I at least follow or learn more about the company? What would be a best way for people to learn more?
I would appreciate LinkedIn invites. And if you would please, in the LinkedIn, reach out, make sure you let me know that you heard me through Velma's production so that I can, it'll catch my attention.
Yeah, no, okay, great. It's everybody heard it. Listeners, you can connect with Sandy on LinkedIn, and we'll have that in the actual video here for the show notes. So you can connect with Sandy. Please mention you heard her on Your Leadership Chat with Velma. And we just want to just give a great big thank you. I want to give you a virtual hug because that's
I'll
just the
take
kind
it.
of person I am.
Oh.
But thank you so much for, joining me today and for being so open and caring and giving us such great takeaways, Sandy. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, thanks so much for watching another episode of Your Leadership Chat. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button here and tap that bell icon so that you never miss another episode. I hope too that you'll give us a thumbs up on the video for a like. And then if you feel led, please share the video with those who need to see it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Your Leadership Chat. Bye for now.